Today we have my 2022 Ram 2500 coming. And so today we will be paint matching my door handles. First, I will show you how to take off every single bolt on this door panel. Okay, so everything needed for this removal will be T15 sockets all along the edge pieces. Behind this little flap that you could open with a very little flathead screwdriver will be a Phillips socket. Okay, now that you have all these little T15 screws out, you want to take a Phillips head screwdriver, go into this little hole that you opened up, and take this Phillips head screw out. Okay, once you get all these screws out, take your little Phillips head screwdriver and just pop these little pins out to make sure they don't go flying everywhere. Now that you have everything removed from the door, you can simply start prying open the door the door panel, excuse me, from the bottom. Okay, once you pop your door panel off, just make sure and unplug your harness that controls your window motor. And just like that, you can take your door panel out. Now, Ram stuck with having to take door handles off. You have to take this little flap down, pop it down, and way up in here, you'll see 3 bolts. Okay, now there's that bolt right there. There is one to the left and one right above it that you'll need to remove with a 10mm socket. Okay, now that you have those 3 screws removed from the back of the door handle without removing this panel, you can get to this side of the door and simply pull out on this one end right here, slide this over, open the door handle, and then you can see how this little white pin, simply just kick this on out. And then you can still open the door if you need to, just by pushing this little thing down, and you can open the door. Okay, now we will repeat that same step for all 4 doors. All right, so we have all my parts laid out: the door handles, the grill, accents, and everything that I'm going to be painting. What you'll need is some 400 grit sandpaper, an orbital sander, and some type of face mask. I'm not going to time-lapse me sanding this because it's sanding, it's boring, it takes a while. But just remember to be careful around the edges, or else there can be a buildup of plastic that'll just almost create like a pit. So just remember, be careful with the corners. All right, so now everything has been sanded. And next, all you want to do is take some mineral spirits and a microfiber cloth, put the mineral spirits on the microfiber, and just rub everything off. And then we'll want to use this adhesion promoter. We'll want to put about 2 coats on, letting about 10 minutes between each coat, and then you'll want to let about 20 minutes before you lay your primer down. Okay, so I laid my first coat of the adhesion promoter down on all the parts. I'm gonna let it dry for 10 minutes, put my second coat on, and then let that dry for 20 minutes before I put my primer down. So I just spray the second coat of adhesion promoter on. Now wait about 20 minutes before you put your primer down. All right, so I let the adhesive promoter dry for 20 minutes. Now I'm gonna put my primer down. I'm gonna put 2 to 3 coats on, depending on how thick these coats are. So I just sprayed all 3 coats on. They look very good. I'm gonna let it dry for about an hour, 15 minutes before I go wet sand any imperfection spots, and then I'll spray my base coat. Okay, quick intermission. I did not have to wet sand any of the parts. They came out flawlessly almost. I did not talk in between spraying because of how strong the fumes were in the shop from the primer. So I sprayed 3 coats down, letting 10 minutes dry in between each coat. Okay, next up on the clear coat, I let the primer dry for about an hour, 15 minutes. Then I sprayed 3 coats of clear coat down, letting 15 minutes in between each coat. If 3 is not glossy enough for you, you can put another 4th down. I did just go over some spots in the 4th coat that didn't seem glossy enough to me. Drill back in the upper shroud, the lower shroud, but I'm not going to bore you with that because we just did it. So everything's installed. Headlights in, grill shroud is in, grill's in. And as you can see in the daytime, the paint match is just very good. For the door handles, I had to actually end up taking this door panel off and also the inner door panel to install the door handles. And it really wasn't that hard. There's a video online of how to do it, but they came out very, very good, and I'm very pleased. So that'll do it for the video on how to paint match your grill shroud and also how to do it paint match for your door handles.